Is it?
Oh, welcome to the Rouge Rug Club podcast again. So we've got a special guest this week, haven't we, Martin?
We have. We sort of wanted somebody who looked. I keep trying to say, what's that new word for trendy? It's not woke, but you look. Like when you drink like cocktails in Shoreditch, and
I know what you mean.
just said it. He's come up.
The beard.
Yes. What? In fact, that comedian sort of called you out for this as well, didn't he?
Well, the nickname, everyone can see it saying I look like bloody Ramesh Ranganathan, a white version.
Famously, Kirk Jones once on tour when he was a single man, he was chatting these girls up in a nightclub in Torquay, and this is around 2004, so literally 20 years ago. So the statute of limitations on all sorts of things has passed. And I walked over, always surprising. Kirk always did quite well with the women, ladies on tour. And I walked over and he goes, he's just told us he's the white version of Eminem. And then I turned around to Kirk and said, Eminem is white? And he went, exactly.
And I sort of trying to say he's Eminem to them kids, to them girls.
Well, I don't know if that was to impress them. I mean, they were saying that it was a bit of a weird thing to say that he was the white version of Eminem, given that Eminem is white. But there you go.
Isn't he more M&Ms nowadays?
Kurt? He does. He sort of does. He looks very similar, Kirk does, to when he was. He sort of never really changed. I don't think he's really aged. I guess he's got less hair, but he sort of has always had the same sort of physique and look, really. Anyway, we actually didn't introduce you there. It's Ollie Howard, second team stalwart, coach of Rouge under 11s, wife of Anne Howard, social media guru, and Rouge Rugby Club's women's player, albeit mainly for Stone currently. What a great sort of
women's touch
as well. Yeah, all of that sort of stuff that the Howard family are involved in. And I think, this is your second season playing, Ollie?
Yeah. Back.
And he's had more injuries than not dinners since.
Yeah, but it's not stopped me though. I haven't had to come off for a game yet.
Yeah, he's played more games this season than a certain Jack Appleby, who's also.
I've played more first games last season than Jack did.
That's a lie.
Yes, I always sort of forget that. Right, is that when we look back on last season, lots of what you might call traditional second team players, and I don't know if there's an insult in there somewhere, but ended up playing quite a lot of first team games. You must have got about 4 or 5. Ollie, I'd say, would it?
It was all the really pain in the arse to get to. Games.
Well, I probably played, like, when I first started playing Rouge Rugby Club around 2002, 2003, right? Like anyone who was new, and has always been the case, I was straight in the first team. It didn't take them long to realise, and then I wasn't, and then I was in the second team. However, I've probably played eight sort of first team games in that period, 4 of which have been in Pembury.
Yeah.
So it probably tells its own story, really, as to how some of this stuff.
Well, the worst one was when they said, "Can I come over to Newport?" at the game, and I got absolutely mullered.
Yeah, that wasn't a fun one. That was.
Yeah, I don't know how I dodged that game. I don't know where I was.
Well, you didn't miss much. We all got absolutely dicked.
Well, this is like, we had an ongoing joke last season with Jake, and we'll just drag him along to any game we thought was going to get dicked for in a way, knowing full well what was going to happen.
So one of the funny things about that game was we kind of wanted to honour the fixture because it was they were running away with the league. But Newport...
Martin, put your face in the picture. Just see half your face.
No, I was going to say that Newport as a club came to our club in numbers, had a good old drink, were very nice, and they said, we'll look forward to, and we're going to put on a day for it. Well, the problem was they did put on a sort of special day, so then that made us think, oh shit, we've got to go over. I think it was the last day of the Six Nations as well, and we'd virtually got the availability was utterly horrendous. It wasn't helped by the fact that I think Newport had beat Handsworth like 90-0 the week before. Maybe it was 100. I don't know. It was some horrendous scoreline.
Yeah.
And then we received a message from Newport to the effect of, don't worry, we're not going to be looking to run a score up against you. And I think you're right in saying that their policy on the day was when they kicked the ball through the posts, rather than running for it, they would walk for it. And it only ended up being like, somebody will be able to set the record straight, like 60 points to 0 rather than...
No, it was 100.
It wasn't 100. Definitely wasn't 100.
I don't think we got beat up by 100 last season, did we?
No, we did. We almost did against Bromyard.
And by the way, we've been worse than last season. I mean, I've been in a season where we've lost 97-0 and 104-3 or something daft.
Oh, yeah.
So last season was actually not the worst season I've played in. I mean, I've played here long enough to have the worst seasons, which is probably telling of my age more than anything else.
Yeah, grassroots rugby union, you've got to embrace getting dicked, haven't you, really?
Well, it's that. So I was saying to one of the players at Shaw Saturday, or if you're watching it, Saturday.
Yes.
Watching it's a different day. And I says, it'll be a different game when you come to our place. I says, we all just lose away, don't we? That's what we do. You win at home, lose away.
Yes.
And the team who gets the same team out, home and away, will win the league. That's just how it's going to happen.
Oh, no, 100%. And well, that moves on to yesterday. It was a day of mixed results for the club, because actually, can
I just say, it was a strange set of results. Like, I'd understand. So the first team obviously lost by quite a lot. Was it 56-12, something down them lines?
Yeah. And
then the second team seemed to have completely flipped that scoreline on its head, which is very unusual in these double-headed games. Normally, both teams lose or both teams win, or you have close games one way or the other. Not a big win and a big defeat.
I mean, there's some confusion as to the score. I think the second team might have been 56-12.
Yeah, so, it was.
So literally an aggregate draw.
Can we claim that? I'm sure there's a league where we can claim that. That second team league, did you get 2 points for an away game?
There are lots of. We'll come on to this in a while, but there are some rules in the second team league that sort of are a bit strange. But yeah, I mean, starting with the second team game, Ollie. I mean, Eccleshaw were missing a few, so we lent them a few. But it was an emphatic win. But what did you make of it?
It was. I think the first 5 minutes. I don't know what their players. I don't know if they were all backs, and obviously it was uncontested scrums. But I mean, they had some big lads, but they're rooks. They'd ruck really well, but like me and Ivan, you could literally just go through two of them. The amount of rooks I cleared on my own. They had great positioning, but they just railroaded through them. I don't think we lost a ruck.
We were the rucking kings, were we?
Yeah, it seemed to be, but it was you dive in thinking some resistance, and you just went straight through them.
I'll tell you who was surprisingly good rucker, and from nowhere was David De Bron.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
He was almost in every. It seemed to be in every ruck.
Who is this David De Bron?
David, he's been, well, you won't know him because he's been training all summer. But
I'm a 40-year-old man.
I know. So he's new to the club. He's from somewhere down south, and he's got a mate up here, and he got a job opportunity. So he's just sort of moved up, and we're teaching him the Rugeley way. But I thought he was. I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm not trying to sound sarcastic, but he had a really good.
Has he got a degree?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure. He's a paramedic. So do you need a degree to be a paramedic? I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Do you?
No.
Yeah.
You don't need a degree. You can get a diploma because you don't need a
No.
degree to be a nurse.
No, it's not. They've changed it.
You need
You
to
have to go through. Yeah, you have to go through university straight away, or you go through trust recruitment, and you still have to do a year at university to get a degree, so you can learn how to.
You can do it through diplomas as well at university.
Well, on the next episode of the career course,
Nursing Times.
We'll get Scott Chesgoy on next time, and he can clear up the.
Scott definitely.
Non-degree.
I would have thought that Scott got through before you needed a degree. I would think he's been grandfathered in. I can't imagine Scott's got a degree.
Yeah, but I'm saying he will know though, won't he? That's what I mean.
The only thing that would make me think that Scott might have a degree is that he can spell his own surname, which is quite a difficult name to spell. Lots of Z's and all sorts of stuff in there. Anyway, Ollie slagged off the Eccleshall ruck-in. To be fair, the scrum half got 2 identical tries, didn't he? When because it was 12-a-side and we literally had no one on the blind side, and he picked the ball up at the back of the ruck and just completely ran it in unopposed from the halfway.
He'd got like a big body and little legs, but when he ran, he looked like a cartoon character.
Yeah, it's sort of like what Top Cat or something like that.
Yeah, his legs were spinning.
The only thing, Ollie, just to be absolutely clear here, you realise we publicly broadcast this.
Yeah, well, he could go. He got some. He was one of them. He didn't think he was going to get any speed up, and he really fast. He was. He
actually came on and played for their first team as well late that day.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he played most of the second half of their first team. I was emergency ref because it's the second time this season. I don't think it was allocated a society ref. Unfortunately, there weren't many refs around this weekend. And then they were having a lunch in Eccleshall, but the referee who they were going to get to do it hadn't finished his lunch. So proper grassroots merit table rugby. I stood in and I did a very good performance, I thought, but Dan was not impressed with my performance.
It's hilarious when you two have a go at each other. We just stand back and watch you swear at each other.
Was it in the club's best interest, Martin, this week for you to do that?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I did actually play the last. Well, so the ref showed up with about 15 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, and he said, "Do you want me to come on?" I said, "Yeah, go on. I'll have a run out for the last 10 minutes." Only for me then to realise that Eccleshall just had an injury, so I had to go and play for Eccleshall for the last 10 minutes.
Well, the big question here is, did the ref then claim his expenses?
Well, I don't know. He probably covered a couple of glasses of wine in Eccleshall. I noticed it was an expensive round in Eccleshall town centre later that evening. So every glass of wine is costing about £6 plus. So, yeah, very difficult. Now, on to the first team game.
Well, shall we just talk more about the second team game? Because the first team game was awful.
Well, but actually, Danny Leone in the second team game got 3 tries. I think Dean Mortimer got 3 as well. So there was lots of hat tricks. Not many jugs were bought though, from what I could see afterwards.
Oliver scored then, so there's quite a lot of tries there.
Even I scored. That's how bad it was when I scored.
Yeah. There was Pinot. He might have even got 3 tries as well.
I think he got 2, Pinot.
There were 2 incidents of note. One, Tyler Walker, who Matt rates as a rugby league finisher. In rugby union, he's very quick. He just has to catch the ball. And then the one time he didn't even try to catch the ball, he sort of patted it back. We then went on some weird sort of like New Zealand rugby flurry of activity where we're passing it all over and we go in and Pinot scores a fantastic try. And then the other weird thing that occurred was almost like something from the computer game FIFA, where their player gets kicked over, sort of catches it, sort of misses it, goes back, and he flicks it with his back heel back over his head. Unfortunately, only for one of his own players to catch it in an offside position. But if that hadn't have happened, it would have been one of the best bits of skill I'd ever seen on a rugby pitch.
No, I do rate Tyler Walker's finishing.
Yes.
Give him a bit of space. He does seem to score plenty of tries, doesn't he? I'm sure last season he scored a few tries as well in the rugby league.
And rugby union, when we went, he's just very, very quick. I think that's the thing, deceptively quick. and he's so skinny that people think, well, how can he be that?
He scored 2 tries in our club game against Cannock as well. That was like in the last season as well.
He did. Yeah.
Let's say a bit of space. He does seem to score.
Yeah. I mean, he must have got, of course, across the course of the rugby league season, he must have scored 4 or 5 times now. Something of that.
So yeah, I'd imagine so.
So we're gonna skip past the first team game beyond saying.
No, it was a decent enough game. I mean, they scored a couple of tries at the beginning, didn't they, Jack? And then we got a bit of a foothold in for our forwards play for a good 15, 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden it kind of you run out of puff, don't you? When you keep it tight, I think that's the problem. You can keep it tight as long as you can, and then eventually your forwards done all the work, and you just you're tired out. You're not doing a fat lot.
Our forwards were taking it up, and we were busting holes, and we were, we caused a few injuries as well, and not that that's something to be proud of, but we were sort of super strong at the front, up front and up through the middle and stuff. So that was sort of our game we had to play. 80% of their tries came from scoring down one of the edges.
Well, I think they realised relatively quick that we had an inexperienced backline and just plug it to the 13 who seemed to shrug off plenty of tackles. And then the wingers were quite good as well at finishing again. So it's kind of like, he's got 13, 14 was in a bit of trouble.
And that 13 was a clever runner as well. He didn't just gas it. He held before feeding in those wingers. He was a strong lad, strong runner, but he was a clever player.
Oh, he had a great handoff. I mean, not great for us, but he had a great handoff.
Didn't Harry get into some weird sort of war of words?
He tackled somebody, and literally as he went over, the bloke's studs almost went into his head as they both went like somersaulted over, and he literally foot went on the top of his head.
No, but what I'm more talking about is his strange war of words with the 13 who scored 5 tries.
Oh, I don't know.
It was a good game to watch. Okay, you lost, but it was, as a spectator, it was a really good. It was a good game to watch. It was like constantly on.
Rugby, the way that rugby does work, though, actually, sometimes if you can find a way to score, 2 tries becomes 3 tries before, like that landslide effect does happen. And when that does happen, actually the scoreline, I wouldn't say it flattened them because I thought they played well, but at the same time, we're probably better. Teams will look at that and think, oh, we got absolutely dicked this weekend. And it didn't, from the sideline anyway, I don't think it looked like that. Maybe it felt like that. I don't know.
I mean, and again as well, you need to remember that. And I mean, kudos to those who did sort of step up and help us out from the twos as well. But again, we're missing 8, 9 first team players, and
it was a dicking. I think we can say we got dicked.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
I think we look daft saying we did not get dicked.
No, we did.
We'll look at the score. We got dicked. Yeah. But it's like Jack said, it was a perfect storm of injuries and holidays and whatnot. And it's just what it is, isn't it? That's amateur rugby, I'm afraid. Sometimes we're going to have a good team. Sometimes we're not going to be as strong. Yeah. But I do think some of the lads who came in, I thought Kyle played well. Joseph had a strong shift. And I tell you who else I thought played really well was Drew. And he's not got the plaudits, but I think he's, coming on leaps and bounds. He seems a decent player.
Especially out of position as well, right? So, I mean, really all of his mini and junior rugby as a back row forward or a hooker. On the wing, it's just that you could sort of see that a little bit with sort of not using the touchline as his sort of extra defender, because you don't, when you do the tackling as a back row player, you're just sort of tackling, aren't you, as opposed to having to have that thought process. No, I agree. I thought all those young players did well, and on one level, that probably long term bodes well for the future. But I mean, it's fine. We've won both our home games. We've lost both our away games.
And Kyle's a back row player as well, isn't he? We chucked him out on the wing, which is, by the way, it's horrendous being a back row player and they chuck you on the wing. I've done it 20 odd years ago, probably now, or they've done it to me. And you look like a complete numpty sometimes because you don't understand the position. Yeah. And it's one of the hardest positions to defend, I find, wing, because you tend to just turn in quite a lot. So to come in and play wing and not embarrass yourself and be one of the better players, I think it's a testament to him.
No, I mean, he off some great tackles, but it was a day of having to do the tackles. We will. I think it is also probably making excuses here. Probably the first time we played Eccleshaw 4 years at their place. I think we've got.
No, it's 2 years.
We had a good, we often play them when it's absolutely horrendous, and I suspect it being quite nice weather probably helped them out slightly.
Oh, I don't know. We still would have got beat if it was nice weather.
We would.
Terrible weather.
No. I'm excuse making, really.
What we really needed was a frozen pitch.
Yes, that would have been good.
And a day in the clubhouse.
But there we go. So we're into so we've completed this block of games. And I think we'd probably say that's fine, isn't it? 1-2, lost 2, sixth place, probably where we thought we'd be, hope we'd be.
Yeah.
Aren't we first? Just want to throw that out there.
Oh, the second team is. Well, talk us for the points, Martin, so you can understand how the second team have got the points.
So if you don't know, I'm also the sort of Svengali of the Staffordshire Merit Leagues. And if you'd like to join our great WhatsApp chat called Staffordshire Rugby Games, you can see how I'm like King Henry VIII, and I cast down my judgments on what occurs. Actually, we have simplified the scoring this season, albeit I've got one weird wild card rule. So let me try and get this right. It's 6 points for an away win, 4 points for an home win.
That doesn't sound right.
Hang on, I've got this written down, so let me just look it. Here we go. So here it is. 6 points for an away win, 4 points for a home win. So we're rewarding people who travel away. That's the whole thing about this. 3 for an away draw, 2 for a home draw, 2 for an away loss, and 1 for a home loss. And then the one slightly strange rule, which I don't think you have anywhere else in rugby, is everyone has to play the prison team Her Majesty's Prison Featherstone once. And if you do play your game against them, regardless of whether you win or lose, you get 10 bonus points. So our second team, because they lost at home and got 1 point, they then had a walkover away game where they got 6 points. And then they had their away victory yesterday. Those two things together puts them on 13 points and puts them top of the league, I think, on goal difference ahead of our nearest and dearest rivals, Cannock. So, yes, that is...
My previous favourite rule in the Merit Leagues was when you got a bonus point for putting the result in before Monday at 10 o'clock.
Yes, you got a point for emailing.
1 year we won the league because Martin was really good at the admin.
Is there a limit on how many times you can play the prison, or you play them 5 times and get 50 points?
No, there is. You only get that set of points once. That is a fair enough point. Just keep going to the prison every week. Just keep playing them, rack up the game.
It's a bit unfair on the prison, isn't it? Because then they're going to get the 10 points for it.
Well, they're not technically in the league because, it was always a bit unfair that they were in the league anyway because they never played any games away from home. Now, in rugby circles, there's always one bullshitter in every club who's about like 50 or 60 who go, I remember the one time they did play us away from home at our place.
I've heard this story. And the guy stayed out in the shrew and then handed himself back in the next day.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that's ever going to be.
I can't imagine that is true. So if anyone out there genuinely has played Featherstone Prison or any prison
at home,
then let us know. I guess these days they could play with. This would also be unfair, but they could have like tags on or something, maybe.
Well, you would have thought open prisons, maybe. No, yeah. Were open prisons a thing 30 years ago?
Well, don't open
pitch.
Well, also, don't open prisons have like I don't know, financial fraud people in there, rather than the sort of people that like these big, burly, younger drug dealers who are, who are
meant to hurt people.
in there to, I don't know if those open prison type prisoners would be particularly any good at rugby.
We'll definitely play them then.
But it's possible we might play them this coming.
They'd probably be better. They're probably a load of schoolboys who are bloody proper
They're
schoolboy, and know how to play.
I don't think I've ever won playing Featherstone Prison, and I've been there many times, or any of the prison teams. I played Brinsford as well. I can't remember ever winning. Can you, Matt?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't think. I can't remember winning. Unless we've gone there with I think we might have gone there with the first team once and beat them with the first team, possibly.
Maybe. If we ever play a mine, you categorically cannot ref.
I've definitely not beat them with the second team.
Well, also, let me just tell you, we've got to play them so we can get our 10 bonus points. And if we do...
Probably takes the league.
The only thing is, if we do win the league, we'll get no credit from Matt because he just calls it's not really a league.
It's not really a league, is it?
It isn't really.
It's only really a league if you think you're going to win it. Then it's a real league. If you're mid-table in the league, you see is what it is: a bunch of friendlies in different places around the county.
Oh, yeah, I run the league, and my line is: if you're in this league to win the league, you're in the wrong league. I do the word league a lot in that saying.
Right. Have you got the Owen Cup fixtures?
Right, yeah. So I'm hearing that people are liking our predictions. So we'll do it. So there's no league rugby, so use the word league again, this weekend. Now, I'm not 100% sure these games are being played, right? So I've got all of the County Cup games. Some of these might have even been played already.
Oh, let's just do the ones for our level. There'll be about 5 games, won't there?
Yes, but again, some of them might have already occurred for all we know.
Oh, well, if they've not occurred, then if they have occurred, we'll just see if someone will tell us, won't they?
Okay, so first up, Wednesbury against Penkridge. So, Jack, what do you think? Scoreline?
Wednesbury 21, Penkridge 7.
Matt?
I'm going Penkridge win. I'm going to go 30-12.
Okay, Ollie?
Wednesbury to win.
What's the score?
Should I go something ridiculous like 56-12?
I'm going to go Wednesbury home walkover. That's
we'll do that.
That's one of the ones that's already happened. I don't know that is.
No
anyway, moving it on to Cannock versus Uttoxeter.
Uttoxeter win by, I don't know, 38 points to 10.
Matt?
Oh, they've already played each other, haven't they? So
Uttoxeter you're ahead of me.
Win.
Yeah. This is the problem with this.
Was this a double up or not?
They doubled up, yeah.
Oh, I'll get rid of that then, because we already know the result.
Okay, and then, all right, well, here's here's one that hasn't been played yet that I know for sure. Stone against Eccleshall. Now, Stone, I think, started off with a couple of defeats, but then has sort of maybe has won a game recently. Did they win yesterday, Jack? Stone?
I'll put it here one sec.
I think they've got a win in there, Stone.
Well, I'll go first then.
Stone lost yesterday.
I'd say Stone to win 15-7.
Against Eccleshall?
Yeah.
Matthew?
I'm going Eccleshall win 44-5.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I think that's a comfortable win, unfortunately. I do quite like Stone, not everyone there, but most of them. I think that Stone 10, Eccleshall 50.
Jack, have you done yours?
No, I reckon Stone 15, Eccleshall 40.
Okay, Next
Stone
one,
have won a game. Stone won against Stoke.
next game, Handsworth against Whittington.
Against who? Whittington.
Whittington, yeah. But there's a league between the two of them. So what we're saying, Ollie, Handsworth against Whittington.
I know Handsworth team, but I don't know. Are Whittington any good?
I mean, I think
They're not too bad, to be fair to them.
yeah, when they get their full team out, I think they're quite a good team.
I'll go Whittington win then.
Oh, crap. I think
I'm not saying that good.
what's the score then, Ollie?
10-5.
Okay. Close one, Matthew.
Handsworth 30, Whittington 12.
And Jack.
Yeah, Handsworth win. Although I reckon it's going to be very close. I reckon you're looking at, I don't know, let's go 14-10.
No, I think Handsworth will win this comfortably, notwithstanding what I said about Whittington. I think it's a 40 points to 15 Handsworth win. Okay, and this is a battle in the league below between St Leonard's and Bloxwich. Matthew.
Oh, I've not seen anything of either of them teams. I'm going to go with Bloxwich to win 20-12.
Yeah, I think that St Leonard's have had a good start to the season. I think Bloxwich are very strong at home, but struggle a little bit more on the road. So I'm going to go for St Leonard's 30, Bloxwich 10. Come on, then, Ollie.
I'll throw a draw out. 2020.
Okay, then who's going to win? Because it's a cup game.
Okay then. St Leonard's then. 23-20.
Right. And Jack, to finish this one off.
Yeah, no, I think St Leonard's are on a bit of a run at the moment. They're sort of 4 from 4 wins and stuff like that, and they've been scoring a decent amount of tries. So I reckon St Leonard's are going to win it comfortably, 40 points to 7.
And then finally, actually, the two teams aren't playing. So they've both got a bye because of the number of teams in the competition. And it's Linley and Barton under Needwood. Now, Matt's bagged Barton under Needwood to last couple of predictions. So, unfortunately, this week you're not going to be able to do that, Matt, because they're not playing in the cup yet until the next round. So, there you go.
Unconscious bias. Not conscious bias.
I think that the Owen Cup was kind of better when it was tiered off. And there's some talk of next season perhaps running it instead of the Papa Johns, and then just tiering it from the absolute beginning. So if you lose that game, you go into the Bowl Plate Cup, waterfall type competition in the same way that they did with the second 15 Cup last year. Now, it won't affect us because we'll be playing rugby league then, but I do think that is a better format because sometimes some of the teams, when there's a division gap, if you're one of the lower, if you're in a lower league, I think you think two things. One, do I really want to go and play this game against a team in a higher league? Two, even if I do by some miracle win this game, do I want to win the cup anyway? Would I rather have a week off? And I think a lot of teams conclude I would rather have a week off. And I just think the format needs looking at, because this whole thing whereby you start, and especially with teams that have played friendlies for the last couple of Saturdays in August, they in effect will now be into their 7th or 8th consecutive week of rugby, and I just think people want and need the week off, really.
So I just say the Papa John's Cup has put me off pizza for life. It is bloody awful. And the fact it drags on so long into the bloody end of the season, and then you end up with all these county cups still playing late in the season, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think that I've been a great advocate, like on my own, of just saying 10-team leagues is what you want. 12-team leagues are too much. And this whole thing whereby, and if we have got a game on Saturday, we will then play, ignoring the pre-season friendlies, 8 games in a row straight. And that's just too much, really, I think.
I'll just say, if you are a club at our level or around our level and you're requiring home games to support your income all year round, there is something wrong.
Well,
you're going to get cried off a lot in this league. You need to be thinking about what you're going to be doing all year round to make money, not just home games.
Talking about alternative ways to make money, I was at Longton today, and Longton has got a great business model whereby Amazon use it as their alternative van car parking. Yes, and I saw some guys presumably one guy had finished his shift and was giving either somebody was stealing a lot of stuff, or what I suspect was happening is he was handing the parcels over to this other guy so he could finish the delivery round off. And I'm sure that makes them. I'd like to think that makes them quite a few quid.
Talking about money though, like obviously we've had a game today, the little ones. Yes. You open the bar, the missus she makes food for the kids.
We sell soft drinks, soft.
But she puts a couple of extra bacon sandwiches or sausage sandwiches on. We make a killing.
Oh, junior rugby makes. I think junior rugby makes rugby clubs than adult rugby. A lot,
especially when there's some of the moms make cakes and they charge whatever they charge for. I don't have anything to do with it, but they always get sold. Especially today when they've had the little ones as well.
Should we basically close our rugby club and open a Greggs? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, it might be better. Or a creche.
Creche and Greggs. Greggs.
Yeah. Cakes and kids.
Well, I think that
might attract the wrong type of clientele though.
Listen,
not eventually.
I think you've come up with the title for the podcast though, which is positive. Cakes and kids.
Cakes and kids.
There you go. On that note, we'll leave it.
No, I think we can wind this up. So we hopefully are playing. We've just got the one game coming up this week against Essington to be confirmed. I think there's a bit of a question mark as to whether Essington have got 100 people on holiday this weekend or something, but we'll confirm that hopefully in the next day or two. More importantly, we are our first training session under the floodlights of Rugeley Leisure Centre starts this Tuesday at 8:00. We'll also be going back for showers and some food at the clubhouse afterwards. So really be good if everyone could come along. It has got the added benefit of you not being covered in mud after the training session, albeit with the added negative of for the next sort of 6 months, your trainers are full of those little weird carcinogenic black balls. Rubber crumb. But yeah, so it'd be good to see a good turnout for our first outdoor floodlit training session this Tuesday and our first indoor session at Rugeley Community Centre on Thursday at 7:00 as well. And apparently Dan's got some plans to do something slightly different with that with that session. And by slightly different, I think not just have it as a game of red arse for the last 25 minutes of the session.
For a minute, I thought you meant Dan Leone. I thought this is going to be some weird session that he's putting on.
Dan Leone would have it as 20 minutes of the game of red arse if he could. But
that was my fear.
Dan West is not a red arse enthusiast, as far as I'm aware. And if you want to find out what red arse is, you need to come down to the. Well, I guess you.
Or maybe you don't.
Maybe you don't. But if you do come down to the training session, we'll tell you what red arse is after a vigorous rugby training session. So there we go. Hope everyone enjoyed that, guys, and we'll see you. We'll see you in hopefully next week for the latest edition of our pod.
Lovely. Thank you.
Hang on, I've got to work out how to.
You can start, you can't stop it.
Okay.